Hello, fifth grade families. My name is Miss LACA. I am your child's fifth grade teacher for the 2020-2021 school year. I'm going to record a quick video about classroom expectations and what distance learning will look like for the year. So we have two groups. We have a group A and a group B. By now you should know which group your child is in. The schedules have been posted on Google Classroom, but they are also here for you so that you can see what days and times your students should be on. Basically, if your child is group A, they will be online with me on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Monday and Tuesday, it'll be the entire day with independent work at the end, and Wednesday will be just for about an hour and 15 minutes or so in the morning, and then working independently. And then their Thursday and Friday for group A is completely independent with a check-in at the end of the day from 2:25 to 3:25. For group B, it's the reverse schedule. So their independent days are on Mondays and Tuesdays, working independently from 8 o'clock to about 2:20, meeting with me on Mondays and Tuesdays at 2:25 to 3:25. Wednesdays, they'll meet with me from 9:20 to 10:25, and then they'll be working independently the rest of the day. Thursdays and Fridays for them, they're online with me from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And then they will do independent work on their own from 2:25 to 3:25. Attendance is extremely important. They are having us taking attendance twice a day when students are online with us. To receive credit for attendance, they need to be on screen, participating, showing their face through the camera on all their assigned days and times. Just like as if we were at school, we have school every single day. Your child is expected to be online with me at some point every single day, 5 days a week. Okay, there was some confusion at the beginning of whether or not students had to be on every day. Yes, they do. It just depends on, are they online with me the full day or are they online with me just to check in? Okay, so every day you must be online. They must be engaged in their learning, participating, giving me thumbs up, thumbs down, typing in the chat, whatever it is, to receive participation in attendance for that day. Supplies. The students were given lots of supplies, whether it's the Chromebooks, books, textbooks, workbooks, and other things, whiteboards, and all that stuff. Please make sure they are kept safe and always able to be located at any given moment. This week we will begin using our workbooks for math, so we need to make sure those are accessible. Keep Chromebooks charged at all time and keep the food and drinks away from the Chromebooks. Participation, as I said before, is extremely important. I know it's kind of awkward and weird online, but it's the only way I can assure that students are learning is if they're communicating to me, whether they understand it, whether they don't understand it, and all that type of stuff. We need to make sure they're participating as best they can. And again, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a nodding, a shaking of a head, all of that counts as participation. Just acknowledging that they're receiving what I'm saying or showing on the screen. And we're going to try our best, which we've done a really good job of not talking over people and keeping our microphones muted when we are not talking. Tone of voice is something I always bring up with the students and with parents. It's just something I want to share as a life skill, making sure that we are talking so that people are listening to us. Sometimes when we get excited or frustrated or whatever it may be, the way we communicate can stop people from listening. So we want to always talk calmly, respectfully, and clearly because everybody has a right to be heard and respected. Online behavior, overall, it's been pretty good so far, so it's nothing that I'm too concerned about as of now, but we want to make sure keep our cameras and computers still so the kids aren't shaking them back and forth or spinning around in a chair. I've got at any given point, I've got 17 faces and little monitors on my screen, so if everyone's spinning in a chair, it gets a little crazy for me to look at. The chat in the Google Meets is for questions and answers only. We're not using side conversations. We did have a little bit of an issue with that at the beginning, but now we are doing so much better with that. Logging off and on, you need to stay on for the entire meeting. I know with internet, sometimes it kicks you off, but the kids have been really, really good in just letting me know, like, hey, Ms. LACA, that wasn't me. It kicked me off. And of course, obviously, I understand that, but We don't want to keep logging on, logging off, logging on, logging off. And then just reminding the students that when I'm sharing my screen and they think that I'm not watching them, I have 2 monitors that I have pulled up so I can see them at all times. They are being observed at all times to make sure that they're staying safe and on task. So just kind of keep in mind for them that even though it might seem like I'm not looking at them because I'm sharing something on my screen, I still in fact can see them. So to be responsible and respectful. Learning environment, this was kind of big at the beginning of the year. Even though we are at home, we do ask that children are wearing clothes that are appropriate for school. Try and keep the noises around them limited, finding a quiet space to work and keep their microphone muted unless they're talking to the group. And for their privacy and yours as a family, please don't share like tours of the house, family members, pets, toys, etc. We're not doing show and tell. And again, it is to keep us focused on our learning, but it's also for privacy for families, because with the computers being virtual learning, it is kind of a little a window into everyone's homes, and we want to maintain privacy and respect as much as possible. And speaking on that, family members or whoever in the background of our lessons, we can see and hear you. So please be mindful of that. Family members wearing appropriate clothes as well, at least when you're walking past behind a student if they're on the computer. Just kind of assume that if the student's on the computer, if you walk behind them, we're going to see you. And if you're around them, if they unmute to ask a question or unmute to answer a question, we're going to hear you as well. And it's not just me hearing and seeing, the students can hear and see each other as well. So again, that's all for privacy and respect for everyone. Just be mindful of the fact that we can see and hear you if you are near the computer. Quality work, I always expect them to do their best. They are picking up on that quite quickly because I have sent work back or said, hey, you need to go back and fix that. There's no capital, there's no punctuation. You didn't type in the right answer. You typed yes and no instead of answering the question. So they are picking up pretty quickly that I will expect their very best at all times. Using complete sentences, because if they don't do it correctly and to the best of their specific ability, then I will have them redo it. And the nice part with Google Classroom is I can see the work as they're doing it. So I can give them immediate feedback right away, say, hey, on slide 2, you forgot to do this, this, or that. And I can give them that immediate feedback. Turning in work on time, starting this week, work is straight 5th grade work that we are pushing through and expecting their very best effort. And that goes with turning it in on time. If it's not done on time, it will be given a 0 and their grade will be affected. If they're absent, all the work's organized in Google Classroom by day. So all they have to do is find the date that they were absent and complete that work and submit it. But it is their responsibility to do it. There is no additional homework this year once they are done with the independent work if they're doing it on their own, or the classwork if it's a day when they're with me. Once all those things are done and turned in, they do not have any additional homework. Now, if they want to go on reflex, if they want to read, do things like that, they are obviously more than welcome, but I am not going to assign anything extra because I don't want them staring at the screen more than they have to. Commenting on Google Classroom, keeping it school-based, school-appropriate, not chatting with each other. And again, they've done a much better job with this the last few weeks. It was just the first couple days. So just making sure we're always school-appropriate and on task. This is going to be a huge year for teamwork between parents, between families, between teachers, principals, the district, with students. We're all in this together. It's going to be tricky. We're smoothing out a lot of the bumps that we started with, but it's just going to take a lot of teamwork. And if you're having any difficulties, frustrations, anything like that, please just reach out to me. I'm always here to help in whatever way I possibly can. And then, of course, the last thing I want to touch on is learning integrity. Just being honest with their work, being honest if they don't understand something. I'm always going to be here to help them in whatever way I can and help you as the parents as well. But we have limited time together, and I want to make sure we're using it to its full potential. So be honest with what you know, be honest with what you don't know, and I'm always here to help. I'm looking forward to a great year together. If you have any other questions, please join the group classroom and we will meet there to answer any questions you may have. Thank you so much.